talk about my planter if we can. I'm kind of proud of it. Kind of unfortunate, I guess, that we decided to retire for a bit from farming, just I guess for health and lifestyle reasons after all the work that went into this. I guess part of the story, back in the winter, I was looking and maybe out of frustration I tweeted out that is it that hard to find a planter that I can do 15-inch row beans with, 30-inch row corn, no-till, bulk fill with dry fertilizer. And Matthew Tyhurst retweeted, I guess. It showed up on Wanstead's website, and Joe Treese from Caceres saw it and contacted me, said, I can do that for you. So I guess to show what a good salesman Joe is, he sold me a planter he didn't even have yet. So he went and found a nice Case IH 1245 1223 setup. I know people mistook it for brand new when it showed up in the yard there. I looked at it and thought, geez, this thing looks just brand new. And I guess the challenge was, and it was a lot of work on his part, Salford's part, and the service team there at Caceres figuring this out. But how to mount these tanks. The one option they had was up top, and then got figuring, well, that was going to be about 16 feet tall by the time that was done. So he went with this double 40 bushel hopper configuration from Salford. Had HFL Fabricating mount them on there for us with some steps. And in the meantime, this tractor that we have, we added some auto steer to it, and it can run through the same monitor as the planter. And for hydraulic output, it didn't have the MegaFlow hydraulics on it. It's a T8030 New Holland, so there was a kit to add that, so we add that. And so the planter itself has a PTO pump, and it runs about half the planter. And then one of the hydraulic outlets runs the other half of the planter. It's hydraulic drive, air down pressure, and then each of the Salford tanks, half and half, run off two other outlets. So we have 4 outlets here. So I guess, and they were able to do it and get the hoses to run so we don't have to disconnect or reconnect anything. Worked really slick. They worked hard on it, and in the field we had the engineers from Salford come out and help us calibrate and make sure everything ran properly, along with the serviceman from Caceres, Pete, who's super, as well as Joe came out and helped as well. So one of the things I was really impressed with too is just, I guess, the degree on the openers, how they're on this thing. Like, I planted corn into wheat stubble, and I planted beans into some wheat stubble that had a cover crop as well, and some thick rye, and no hairpinning at all. It would cut through anything. Like, it didn't even hardly need the trash whippers or anything. And I guess in the rush or hurry, then I hardly used them, but it does have trash whippers on every row. It's actually easy to use here. If we look at the monitor here, you can see, go to run here. Oh, sorry. I need to go to remote valves. And then depending what operation we're doing here, we'll go to unfold. It gives you step by step what to do. And then everything for that runs off the one lever here. So if we watch this thing, you'll get a better look at the Salford tanks that they put on and how they're mounted. And they put some steps on there to make it easy to use, that you climb up the steps to get on the platform on the planter, and then you can easily get across those. And a lot of the poly tanks and then stainless steel parts of those those Valmar tanks to avoid the rust. Works super. Each tank's, I think, 40 bushel or 40 cubic feet. And then we go back here, so we'll hit that rotate rock, and it says we pull back on the lever. So that is locked. And then we move forward to retract the tongue. I kind of wondered before I had this thing how complicated this would be, but this monitor makes it so easy. So again, we don't have to unhook or any plugs or any hoses or anything like that. She all fit together nice and slick. Back her up. That. And then we go back here and get the next step's the tongue lock, so we move it forward. So that's locked. The inner marker doesn't matter a whole lot. So then we can go to the plant operation, and we can choose bar raise, limited or full. So limited, it just goes up a little bit as you're planting. Full raises it all the way. So we can keep it on full anyways. Inner markers, we can choose it to follow. And outer markers, we can go manual on that. So then pretty much we're ready to plant. So if we go back to the planter here, then we just hit the lever and we can see how she goes down and up. And everything worked good with the, I guess about 80 cubic feet of the fertilizer tanks at the rate we were putting on, and the density. We could do just over 30 acres with it, which works well. And then we got the bulk seed tanks, 40 bushel each, so it's nice with the corn not to have to divide the bags up into different rows, so there's less waste there. And then with the beans, of course, it's nice not to have to keep filling each individual row. We just fill the 2 tanks as well. So then I'll go back here and we'll make sure she's up to full there. And then we'll fold her back up, and then she gives us our step back to make sure the markers are back. Back to extend the tongue. And might be boring any Case IH guys that are watching this thing. You know, when we're operating, then you turn the vacuum fan, the fans on and everything, and away we go. I think I planted with this outfit at 6 miles an hour. Had no problems. Fold her back up again, forward. So, again, put a lot of money into this thing this winter, and a lot of time and effort went into it between Caceres and Salford and myself. And I guess maybe it's unfortunate we decided that for health and lifestyle reasons that maybe we're going to take a break from farming, but I want to see this go to a good home, and I don't want to lose too much money. I know I'm not going to get all my money out of it, but so the auction's here at my place on September 17th at 4 o'clock, and I want to see this go to a good home and get a fair buck out of it. And maybe just anybody that's interested, maybe talk to Caceres and see if they're not comfortable with it, you know, make a deal with them, with their service department, to help get it set up and in the field, and have some help standby if you need it. Anyways, that's my essay on my planter. Hope to see you at the auction.